The Red Rope Tales, number 3, by Jack Walker. Looking inquiringly at my wife as she stands in the doorway, dressed to kill, her one hand behind her back, the other holding the red rope. Her face lights up as she sees my smile, knowing what she is about to do to me. The black dress leaves very little to my imagination, and even less to my libido. I wonder what she has on underneath it. Knowing my luck, it would either be matching or very little indeed. Come over here, my darling. Why are you just standing there like that, teasing me so? I say softly to her, but firmly, to my wife, the gorgeous Samantha. Yes, my love, she answers seductively, still keeping her hand behind her back. I do have an interesting proposal for you, though, and I'm just wondering how you will react to it when I ask you. Now my curiosity was piqued by the statement of hers. The fact that she was hiding something from me was even more enticing. I want to show you a few photographs that I received, she says softly. This is part of the question I need to ask you. Her hand comes out from behind her back with the glossy photographs still clasped in them. She walks towards me, her hand held level with her hips. She sat down next to me, holding out the photographs to me, smiling sweetly. I leaned over to kiss her, but was stopped by the top photograph, the photograph of this adorable strawberry blonde nymph, clad only in the sheerest of outfits. What is this? I asked, my focus suddenly on the photographs, shuffling through them. There were about 20 in all. 4 different women, all similarly clad, all very cute indeed. My wife just sat there, her hands on my thigh. Then she slowly moved it to rest on my bulging cock. Obviously her hand was part of the reaction, but the other part of it was the titillating photographs in my hand. I was certainly turned on now, ready and able. This, my sweet man, is what I want to ask you, she said slowly, pulling the red rope over her knee, making my eyes follow it, almost like Pavlov's dog. I have an interesting proposal to make to you, and want your input before we decide which way to go with this idea of mine. Well, this is an interesting twist, I said slowly, taking a further look at the photographs, having a suspicion, but studying them more carefully. These are all rather spunky. I think they all have something rather special, I murmured, licking my lips in eagerness, waiting for her to continue. I concentrated on the photographs again, slowly studying them and absorbing each detail that I could distinguish out of each one of them, relishing the thought of each of them. Let's just say that my proposal may have an interesting consequence for us, if we decide to go ahead with this, she continued, stroking me through my trousers. Hopefully you will be agreeable to this idea of mine. My heart raced as she squeezed slowly, increasing the pressure, making me swell more. Fuck, this is restricting, I thought, just as she reached out and moved up to my zipper, pulling it down, and her hand snaking inside, pulling me out, standing proudly erect. Oh, yes, please. I like that, I groaned as she held me, fingers wrapped around my shaft. Her wicked smile said it all as she slowly stroked me. Now, look at those pictures, and tell me which one appeals to you most, my love, she cooed, relishing my reaction. My mind whirled at the thought of one of these lovelies, and suddenly I looked over at her and was about to ask her when she spoke. You just focus on the one you think is the most desirable, sexiest, or the one who would be the most playful. Your cock will tell me what I want to know. There is one other thing I need to do, so you just sit still. I need to use the red rope, she explained as she let go of me and kneeled in front of me. Her hands deftly tied my feet together, lashing them securely together. Then she threw the rope under the couch toward the back. Standing up, she walked behind the couch and pulled on the rope, not too tightly, but tight enough that I could feel she was doing something to it. Her hands came up with the rope, up the back, and she looped it under my armpits, then tied the rope behind my back, trapping me to the couch. There. That is so much better, she purred as she slipped out of the dress, then walked around in front of me, her naked body enticing, her scent musky and ready. Now, where were we? Oh, that's right. I want you to focus on those pictures that you love, she said as she held me and slowly stroked again. My body lurched at the touch, my cock still firm and hard, ready to do her bidding. She knew me all too well, I realized. She knew I still enjoyed looking at beauties in the street and was about to exploit that to her advantage. I studied the picture of the top girl, the blonde, and she was beautiful, with smallish breasts, a delight to behold. Her waist looked tiny, but the rest of her was hidden. So I looked at the next picture of her. This was a view of her from behind, and saw her gorgeous peach-shaped arse, and I grunted, relishing the sensation of the moving hand on me. My cock responded in kind. I flicked through the photos, studying each one carefully, trying not to think about the hand moving on my cock. I forced my attention back to the photographs. The redhead was gorgeous, very cute and sexy. The brunette was amazing, her long dark hair wrapped around her neck. The next one was what caught my attention, though. Her hair was dyed a dusky pink, with purple ends, and I felt my cock harden even more. The answering pressure told me that my wife had felt that and responded in kind. I looked at the girl again and studied her more closely, revealing in the next 4 photographs what I suspected, that she was indeed the sexiest and cutest one out of the whole lot. Yes, this one, I grunted, holding one picture up for my wife to see of her shaved pussy. My wife's hand started speeding up, my cock getting more heated as she continued. I went back to Miss Pink, holding the photographs, 3 in one hand and 2 in the other, enjoying the sight of her body spread across the 5 pictures while my cock was being masturbated by my wife. Now this is definitely something that takes my fancy, love. I never thought this adventure of ours could be so interesting. Is there a point to these photographs? I asked her again as she increased her stroking. Yes, there is. In a little while I will tell you, she said softly, nibbling my ear. But there is still more to come. She slid off the couch and forced my knees apart, and the pain from my tied ankles made me groan as she slipped her mouth over me, sucking me deep into her mouth. Fuck, I uttered loudly. She slowly played her tongue against me, circling her tongue around my cock, and started moving her head, bobbing up and down, increasing the pressure of her mouth. My body reacted as expected. My eyes locked on the photographs and the head in front of me, imagining it was Pinky doing the sucking off. The pink hair flicking up and down over my cock, her hand moving along the shaft as well, making me groan in pleasure as finally my cum burst into her mouth. The orgasm absolute bliss. Pinky, my wife, swallowing as she started to clean me off, slowly releasing me from her mouth. My heart was beating hard and fast, my breath hissing from me as I still held firmly onto the photos. Fuck, but that was intense, I commented. Now, are you going to tell me what this is all about? By the way, that was the best bit of play yet, I exclaimed between breaths, my cock softening. This one, little Miss Pinkhair, she is my favourite. I imagined her sucking my cock. Please don't be upset, my darling, but you did ask, I said, looking up at her as she stood in front of me. Not upset at all, my love, hence the photographs. I am willing to add a bit of spice to our lives, and I want your input as well. She chuckled at the double entendre. Besides, she is my favourite too. I wanted you to concur with me. Now I suppose I have you intrigued. Your favourite? As well? I looked at my wife quizzically, wondering what she was up to. So, tell me, Why show these to me then? I am now doubly curious to find out what Miss Pinky has to do with all of this. Well, here goes then. You know I like looking as well. You did know about me liking women, especially when we were in the forest. Now, I think we might have the need for something extra in both our lives that we can enjoy. Fucking. What would you say to getting ourselves a pet that we can both play with? Obviously, we both like her from your reaction. A few minutes ago, she smirked, looking at me now, looking at my deflated cock as well. I want to see if this one, pointing to Pinky, is what I think she is, and would come and join us in our adventures together, my darling man. Nodding, I smiled, knowing where this was going now, feeling my cock stirring again. My, but it is just about what I want, or is it about what you want as well, my love? I asked her, looking at her with an eyebrow raised, my body still tied to the couch. Slowly feeling the pressure of the rope now, before it had been completely absorbed in the sensations I had been experiencing, my body started tingling where I had been tied. A slight intake of breath told me everything I needed to know. The hint of color that rose on her cheeks was indeed an excellent indication that my suspicions had been correct. You want her to eat you out. Isn't that it, my darling wife, or have I misjudged your reaction completely? I queried, my smile creeping up at the corners of my mouth. You want to have fun with her as well, don't you? I could feel my cock responding now, seeing how her breathing altered. The slight breathiness in her response was exactly what I wanted to see. Fuck. You sweet man, you know me all too well. You know I do have that side of me that I have not yet fully explored. And she is indeed a sexy and very hot little thing, she replied, her smile answering everything else. Now, I have already taken her details down. Hold on just a minute. You mean you have already spoken to this lovely specimen? Tell me more, please, my darling wife. Or are you going to just keep me tied up here? I asked her softly, looking at her face reddening, either in anger or a bit of shame. Well, we have met. I set up a date with her last week, and I took those photographs right before we fucked each other stupid. Oh my God, she is an animal in bed, Simon, Samantha said dreamily. Just an absolutely wonderfully kinky little thing. The point is that she is indeed willing to come and play with us, on condition that she gets to know you and that wonderful cock before she decides. Fuck me, I thought. Is this really going to happen? So, what you were saying is that you want to include a third in our little tangles of red, I prompted Samantha, my mind spinning at the thought. Yes, I do. I want Pinky, as you so eloquently put it, she said, smiling. Now, we need to plan how to approach her about this, properly. I kissed her, groaning, as she squeezed me harder. I wanted this to happen, as well as my wife. Things were about to get very, very interesting. To be continued.